If only there was a Spider-Man game that you could swing around the city and actually go on the ground, and was a tie-in game to the commercially successful movie Spider-Man 2 directed by Sam Rami. Oh! Hello everyone, it is Hunter from Gaming by Gamers, and welcome back to Web Series Episode 8. This is it. It's all been leading to this. I know why you're here, and I don't want to waste your time. Let's finally review the Spider-Man 2 movie game. Before we jump into gameplay though, I just want to take a second to thank our sponsor, Vilros. Vilros makes really cool retro gaming controllers, and if you stick around towards the end of the video, I'm going to be talking a little more about them. Thank you again, Vilros, for sponsoring the episode. Now let's get on to the review. Alright, so real talk. When I tried to play this game on a PS2 emulator, it was freaking out and the textures were not working. So I had to get the original Xbox game and record it on my Xbox 360. So I'm sorry it's not in widescreen like the other games have been, but on with the review. The game starts off with us entering a name. I wanted to see if it had the same charm as the first Spider-Man game on the PS1. It did not. Once we start, we get a cutscene of the city, and I just realized you can see Black Cat in this first cutscene. That's a really nice touch, and I didn't notice it until scrubbing through the footage. Anyway, Tobey Maguire is back, and let's see if he decided to give it his all for this game.
Sometimes it's just a mugger. Sometimes it's a bigger problem.
Well, we sit through a pretty boring explanation, and then we start the tutorial. And guess who's back?
Well, sequel time already, huh?
Oh yeah! He explains that things are different this time. You can jump higher, run faster, and swing across the city with real physics. Then they have you chase some people down who robbed an arcade. Robbed an arcade? What did they get? $4 and 2 ring pops? Anyways, we take out those guys, then we learn about the weakest part of this game, the random citizens. In order to progress in the story, you need to earn a certain amount of hero points for the chapter. The hero points are earned by finding citizens with green question marks over their heads, and then doing whatever mission they have for you. That's fine on its own. I think all open world Spider-Man games should have citizens you can help / interact with. Then you start to realize the problem with them around 6 missions after. There is really only 5 side missions, and they're just repeated in different locations. You stop a purse thief, save a guy from falling, bring a girl to the hospital, stop a carjacking, and stop a robbery. Those are going to be the bane of your existence by the end of this game. Oh, and who could forget saving this kid's balloon? I am Spider-Man. I have the power of gods. New York has 25 violent crimes a day, and you, some snot-nosed, stupid little kid, couldn't keep his hands on his balloon. People died today because of you, kid. What do you have to say for yourself? But really, they make you do so many for each chapter, and it's just to extend the length of the game. It's not really needed besides to buy upgrades, but I got everything unlocked before the halfway point in the game. I do have to be fair though, there is other ways to earn hero points. You could take pictures for the Daily Bugle and deliver pizzas. Personally, I thought taking the pictures weren't very fun, but the pizza missions are a lot of fun, and they have this killer music. Jesus, that gave me more anxiety than asking for ketchup from the McDonald's cashier when I was 9. Now that we got the important part of the game out of the way, let's talk about the story. Peter finds out that Mary Jane is seeing someone else, and while he is watching her, he notices that some people are breaking into an art museum. You chase after them and you have to take them down. This is a perfect time to talk about the combat. It's a lot of fun. You're constantly throwing people in the air, using your web moves, and it's completely new. They got rid of the classic webbing power in favor of using your webbing for combos to assist you in fighting. You can now use it to pull enemies towards you, throw them in the air, swing enemies around. It's really a lot of fun. Is it the most realistic thing Spider-Man would do? No, but this is a video game first and foremost, and when the combat is fun, I don't care, I just want to keep doing it. After you beat them, you meet Black Cat. Peter strikes out hard and then chases Black Cat through the city. Thank God Spider-Man looks like this instead of this, because this would end very differently. She gets away, and now we have to go to the Daily Bugle to talk to J. Jonah Jameson. I love J.K. Simmons as JJ in the movies, so I'm very excited to get to hear more of him screaming at Peter. He's just so funny to me.
Finally, someone who hasn't been bamboozled by that media-grabbing glory seeker, Spider-Man.
That's the worst impression I've ever heard if I'm not Hunter from Gaming by Gamers.
I don't think they could get J.K. Simmons. After the meeting, you go take some pictures and then swing back to the Daily Bugle office. That's when you notice something is going down. Now listen, nothing in this world scares me more than Rhino's neck. It somehow moves and stays in the same place all at once. Words cannot describe what I'm looking at when he looks up. Luckily, you don't have to stare for long because he's a quick mini-boss and that's the last time you see him. After this, you find out that Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio, but we don't know that yet, is calling out Spider-Man and saying he's a fraud. You go to like an all-state arena to prove that you're real by beating his competition in obstacle course. It's a really cool boss battle that's way different from anything else in the franchise. You don't even fight Mysterio head on, you just do the obstacle course. After this, you rush to get to MJ's play, and you miss it. You spy on her and find out she's dating JJ's son, John Jameson. To take your mind off things, you swing around for a bit. Alright, it's time to talk about it. The swinging in this game is amazing. The physics feel real and the momentum is important and carries when you swing and jump. So far, this is the best example of web swinging in any of the games. I really think it's going to be hard to top this. It's just so fun. After you swing around for a while, you have to go take pictures at a play when suddenly Mysterio is there and he's saying that he's an alien invading Earth? Also, this is the worst Mysterio costume ever. I hate it. You then have to swing across alien ships to fight a floating brain on top of the Statue of Liberty, which is now the Statue of Mysterio. What the happened in this game? Then you go to a funhouse inside Mysterio's apartment and fight bouncing clowns. This game has gone off the damn rails! Once you do that, it turns out the Mysterio wasn't even in the funhouse, but it's just a hologram, and the level ends. Don't forget, in between all this, you're gonna be doing a ton of these side missions. Holy crap, she did that to a car? What is she, the Hulk? Once we get enough hero points, you go and watch Doc Ock's experiment, and everything is pretty close to the movie. I like the story so far. Black Cat is a cool addition, and besides the Mysterio stuff, everything that was added really feels like it would fit in the universe. Doc Ock gets put in the hospital and then kills his doctors. Then he goes out, finds Dr. Connors, and kills him. Well, there goes any chance of fighting the lizard in the sequel. We then meet Aunt May at the bank, just like the movie.
Aunt May, sorry I'm late.
Peter, don't be sorry. I was just worried about you.
I don't think they could get Rosemary Harris. Anyways, you fight him and then he takes Aunt May and puts her on the train tracks. You save her, but Doc Ock gets away. You meet up with Black Cat to fight Shocker, and he's the same voice actor from the first game, so that's really cool. Some other not so important stuff happens, and I have to start wrapping up, so let's just get to the important fights. You find Mysterio once again, but this time he's holding up a convenience store. The game shows his health bar charge up 3 times like an overshield from Halo, and then he's a one-shot kill. That's hilarious. You fight Shocker again, for some reason, and then you meet up with Doc Ock on top of the train. You pass out from saving everyone on the train, and he takes your body to Harry Osborn. Harry wants revenge on Spider-Man because he thinks he killed his dad. When Harry unmasks Spider-Man, he lets Peter go because Doc Ock has taken Mary Jane. You flip a few switches to turn off his machine, and Mary Jane gives you some inspiring words of advice.
Don't lose!
Thanks, Mary Jane. Yeah, couldn't have done it without you. Once you take out Doc Ock, his arms get knocked out from the fusion reactor and he comes to his senses. He uses his arms to take out the building, killing him and saving the city. MJ now knows that Pete is Spider-Man, and that's the game. This game really was amazing, but that's not to say it doesn't have its flaws. The animations were all kinds of messed up, it had lame voice acting, and repetitive side quests that you had to do. This game was almost perfect, but because of those little things, I'm gonna have to bring it down to a 9 out of 10 Mary Janes. Alright, I know a lot of you are gonna be shocked, angry, and disappointed with what I just said, but I can't give it a 10 out of 10. It's not perfect. It's a great game. Don't get me wrong. It's my favorite one I've played so far, but it's not perfect. And if you think it's perfect, that's totally fine. But I recommend you go back and play this game. You might just have nostalgia glasses on. Oh my god, what is that? Someone turn on the TV! Oh god, it's worse than I thought. What have I done? If you've been following the series, you might be wondering, How do I play all these games? Well, don't tell your parents, but I'm using an emulator. But believe it or not, a keyboard isn't the best way to play all these old games. That's why I bought the Vilros 5 USB controller pack. I got this around the start of the show so I could give all the games a fair chance, and it really is amazing. It comes with an NES, SNES, Sega Genesis, N64, and a PlayStation 2 controller. After watching these videos, you should really go back and play the games yourself, because if I have to suffer, so should you. And the best way to play them, and any other emulated game, is the Vilros controller pack. The link in the description will get you the exact pack that I have, and again, I highly recommend it. Thank you so much, Vilros, for the sponsorship, and have a great day.